Good morning, folks. I'm doing this video on mullein again, not because of these beautiful mullein leaves and roots, but we're going to talk about this one. This is the second year. It's very tall. I would say it's probably about 6.5 foot high. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because this is another part of the plant. And today, almost every day, I go out and I'm actually harvesting the little flowers that come off of the second year. Especially when they start, coming out this time of the year. It's a great time to go out and harvest them. And then I bring them in and I let them dry for a couple of days, and then I put them in oil to make an ear oil for like ear infections and anything ear pain. 1 drop of the oil should be plenty. Some people put it on a cotton ball and put it in the ear. So it's very simple to make. You're just picking these, which took me 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go around my property because I have a lot of them around here. I let the second year grow. And first year too, I let them all grow here. I encourage the mullein everywhere, and I teach anyone that works here not to pull them, to leave them, that it's not a weed. Like, that's a weed. That's actually grass, and then there's plantain right next to it. So we're getting towards, harvest time for harvesting all of our herbs. July, August, September, even into October are big harvest times, especially the roots in the fall months. But right now I'm trying to collect these every day. Every day, this is what this gives me almost every day off of my plants. Although I got busy when they first started coming out, I could have had twice the amount of it, but now I'm kind of in mullein mode. So again, this is the second year, and then I'm gonna try to do this. If I shake this out, I'm doing this with one hand, you're going to see the seeds. And I'll do a little video on the seeds. Like, this is loaded with, let me see if I can get one here. Each one of these little pods, is look at the seeds in there, is loaded with thousands of seeds. That's just from one pod. Oh, I did pretty good with one hand. That's what this wind will just throw them everywhere. And I've collected a bunch of seeds already, just because if somebody wants seeds, I'll be selling seeds in little packets. And, people are, come springtime, they're like, I want to grow mullein. And then they totally forget to, gather mullein seeds in the fall. So this here would grow probably twice the amount of this here. Not even kidding you. So, I mean, this is probably, I don't know, a couple hundred seeds or more. So yeah, there you go. Gather your seeds if you want to grow your own roots next year. It is work. I'm not going to say it's not. I do start everything early, so that way I have big roots come fall, and I will have videos and show you the roots this fall. I'm just going to throw these out there. And so you see, there's some flowers up top that I'll be picking these off because I forgot them. That's why I wanted to do the video. So I'm like, oh, well, let's just do a little video. In the past, I've done a video on mullein, how to harvest it, and I was putting the flowers right into the oil. There's still water in the flowers, so if you're a first timer and you've never done it before, don't do it like that. Just let them dry I just let them dry on the counter on a paper plate for a couple of days, and then I put them in my oil. And I like to you can use either avocado oil, you can use olive oil, you're not heating it. You can use, well, even if you are heating it, you're not heating it at a high temperature. Some people like to hurry the process and put it in a crock pot put the jar with the oil and the lid on in a little bit of water in a crock pot. Yeah, if you're in desperate need and you need it really quickly, but for me, I'd like to let it sit in a dark, warm place. You can use a heat mat on really low just to, you know, keep the temperature just a slight warm. You don't have to worry about it when it's hot out, so it does stay 75 degrees, 80 degrees when it's in the summertime. Do not put it in the sun. It rancids your oils. It makes your oils go rancid, and then you got a host of issues with bacteria problems in your oil. I've done oils before by throwing the plant in with the oil. Not the best idea in the world because you can cause a lot of bacteria. When I strain it off, usually the water would sit to the bottom, and that's how we were taught many years ago, but as we evolve, we learn, it's probably not a good idea because then you can end up with bacteria from the water. Water and oil do not mix. So, you know, if you do see any water, I mean, it does happen, just strain it off very slowly. Your water will usually sit to the bottom, and just discard whatever's on the bottom. But try to have them as dry as you can. Now, if you're making a tincture from the roots, it's different because you're using alcohol and distilled water if you're cutting your alcohol. If you have 190 proof, you want to cut it with your distilled water to make it around an 80 or 100 proof. 100 proof is ideal, but if you can only get 80 proof, that's fine. You just have to leave your tincture sit a little bit longer, a couple weeks longer, which is fine. We let ours sit between 8 to 10 weeks, sometimes longer. Just depends on the potency that I let. I'll check it. But I'm rambling on again about other things. So we're back to the mullein. And I just wanted to show you how simple and easy this is. My house. I didn't mean to catch my house in there. And simple and easy it is to gather your seeds for next year, and don't forget, put them in the refrigerator or the freezer. Usually I just throw them in the freezer for a couple of weeks, but if you're doing your seeds now, just throw them in your refrigerator, leave them in there, and then when February comes, usually I like to start my plants February, March 1st is good. March is fine if you have the space, and then April, May I repot them up into bigger pots to give them a little more time to grow and have them in the hothouse. And then I transplant them out here, and this is the results, because if I didn't transplant them, I'm trying to find one here that's really small, you're gonna end up with a really small, and I can't find one right at the moment, you're gonna end up with a really small mullein root. So if you want a bigger mullein root, this is how you're gonna do it. You're gonna start your plants early. And, you know, same with tomatoes and peppers and all those. You start them early so that you can have fruit early on in. So that's it. Just get out there and harvest some of your flowers to make your oil. I'm sorry I'm not showing the process step by step, but I think there's a ton of other videos that you can find that people will show you, but I'm just trying to show you the seeds, my process on how I am growing my mullein. If you could find wild mullein that has been wild, that's great, because the wild mullein will actually, you'll have big roots on those, because obviously they started right in the spring and they popped right up. But for me, I'm commercially growing because I make the mullein root tincture, and I am GMP, which is General Manufacturer Practices, and everything I do is tested in a lab, and we do everything to the books. Okay, so there you go. If you have any questions, you can just let me know. You can send me an email, you can send me a message. You all know how to get a hold of me. And that's it. Have a wonderful day. Peace.